Donncha, what's the crack? How are you another week?
Another week, Tommy. A busy week for you. You're on, are you, tonight?
I am. I'm hosting an award, the Royal Television Society Awards tonight, the Guinness Storehouse here at the minute. So it's been one of those days, Dunners. You know.
Brilliant. Good on you, Tommy. You're a trooper. Any chance you'd pull Ireland's fittest family out of the hat there just for an old award at some point? Just give us an award.
For the show. They're probably up for something, I'd say, are they?
Yeah, they hopefully, fingers crossed, goes our way.
I probably should know if I looked at the script, but yeah, listen. Any crack, how's
job.
things?
All's good, Tommy, all's good. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on my eggs.
What's going on with the egg there?
I'm keeping an eye on eggs, yes. Did you know this lady? Her name is Alison Green. She's from Devon, right? She looks after... I
don't know her, no.
No one knows her, but it's worth trying to get to know her. She is what would you call her? An egg farmer?
Expert.
An expert. She's an expert in egg. She found a round egg, and she's after making 500 quid off the round egg. So I'm keeping an eye on my eggs from here on in.
Well, I'm afraid the egg is out, Donncha, so it's not going to turn round anytime. It doesn't matter.
I'm wondering, can I compress it into a round one? This actually, do you know what? This one lives in our fridge for just pure crack. So, like, if someone comes into the house and you're at the fridge and you throw them over the egg, it's a wooden egg.
Oh, it's a wooden egg. That wasn't meant to happen, was it?
Well, it just fell by accident, but yeah, that's quite convenient. It does lead to good crack. Anytime the kids' friends come over, you're there, whoa, throw them the egg, and they're like, oh. Yeah.
I like that.
But that's what I'm on the search for.
Egg. How much did she make for it?
She made 500 quid, which she, to be fair to her,
out.
Yeah, she gave it to charity. By all accounts, it's a 1 in a billion chance. So keep an eye on your eggs to see are they, you know what I mean?
How round are we talking? Like a perfect football.
Look like a snooker ball is the best, or a table tennis. No, yeah, about that. Yeah, about a table tennis ball. 500 quid, and she gave it to charity. To be fair, she knew it was different.
Paid 500 quid for that.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Honestly.
Do you remember myself and Rod used to have to bring Rala up buttered eggs from the English market?
Yeah,
so Rala used to love these buttered eggs. So basically, there's a way of preserving the egg. You put butter on them, and that kind of keeps them fresher for longer. And that's what she did to kind of bring this to auction.
What do you mean?
She
covered it in butter?
Yeah, she buttered and salted the outside of the egg so it lasted longer, so she could get it to the auction.
But then what happens when somebody paid? Like, do you crack it open? I wonder if there's 2 yolks in that. Like, I mean...
Oh, good question.
You can't just let it sit there. Whoever paid 500 quid, did they just leave it in the fridge? Like, what do you do with it?
It's probably a chef, though, isn't it? It's probably Nevin Maguire or someone like that paid 500 quid for one of these unbelievable restaurants. You know what I mean? Tommy's, you're having... You know the way they overly describe food?
Well, that would be an expensive meal, that one. Yeah. An expensive omelette.
Ask you, when you're friends with Nevin Maguire, ask him what he'd do with a round egg, will you?
I will. I'll put that on the question list next time. Any other crack you watching good or anything else going on live with you at the minute before we go into talking rugby?
There's loads going on, Tommy. I think there was another story I saw that I think it would be good for you. Do you know that the what are they called? The European Space Agency are looking for volunteers, right? They want 10 people to lie down for 10 days, and they're going to pay you $5,000 to do it. Where do you have to lie down? You have to lie down in these pods. They're specially built pods, right? So you don't get wet, but it's like being in a bathtub. Outside you is wet, if you know what I mean. So they're trying to get the motion of heading to
like space.
Exactly. So right. You're weightless, all bar your top half.
And you have to lie down for 10 days solid.
10 days solid. You even your bathroom breaks have to be horizontal. Imagine
How
that.
do you do that?
Exactly what I wanted to ask.
Are you in water?
You're not.
You kind of just. Oh, imagine that. Yeah, go on.
Oh, you're not in water, but just the whole physics of how do you take a piss like?
Are you tubed up? Do you think?
No, you're not.
Like, is there a tube in the front and a tube in the back, and just go when you need to?
Tubing up could be an awful lot handier, couldn't it?
Well, if I have to lie, I mean, I don't know where this is going to go, but I have to lie Anyway,
it's taken place in Toulouse in France. That's where they're taking this. You're put in a waterproof lined bathtub, so you don't get wet at all, but you have that your body feels like it's in water, and they're hoping that your head is fixed to a certain position and your arms. Then you eat off one of these kind of floating trays, is how they've described it. And they're hoping that you get the same effects as space. And the reason they're looking at it in the European Space Station, and they're giving people $5,000 for 10 days, is because they want to try to increase the length of the journey from Cork to the moon. So they want to see, can you get there?
For people who are listening, welcome along to the Offload podcast. We've a lot to discuss. The Lions coaching announcement by Andy Farrell, with a lot of URC matches to talk about. We've Hollie Davidson, the Scottish referee. She's come to join us as well. Really look forward to catching up with her. She's a super talent in refereeing, and I was there for the Ireland against France women's match in Six Nations last weekend. She was in the middle there for that one, so it was great atmosphere. So looking forward to catching up with her. But
whatever about that,
very
Tommy,
interesting stuff there, Donncha. You learn something new every day on this show.
Yeah, whatever about that, or whatever about her talent on the pitch. Do you know what's great? She is great fun, isn't she? Like, when we chat to her all the time, I always come away from it going, we need to see the personalities more. I can go back to the Netflix thing, but if you see the people around our game, you love it even more. And Hollie's just a brilliant example of it.
And they don't get the opportunity. And we've talked about this for referees, how difficult it is. Do they get to mingle with the opposition or the teams? Do they get the same respect, or they kind of have to be hidden away? So, no, she does seem to have a great rapport, though. And anytime she does an interview, I think she comes across really well. So I'm actually really looking forward to talk to her about even the women's game. You know, she's been involved in the Six Nations. She was involved in the Ireland-England match in Six Nations, and even just refereeing in general. So, yeah, looking forward to catching up with her. Here, go on.
It's great to have someone that comes on to be sound, because it's getting more and more frustrating, isn't it? I don't want to sound like the media, but when you ask any of the lads, ask anyone to jump on, it's becoming such a problem, man, isn't it? It's just such
I'm getting very frustrated now. Like, we are trying to do our best to, I don't think we're criticising the game much on this show. I think we try to have a light-hearted approach to it. We're trying to tell a few change room stories. Jeez, it's getting, like, the players, like, being in touch, are getting very guarded. I mean, it's annoying me now. It's annoying me. But anyway, listen.
You'd kind of feel like, honestly, you'd kind of feel like when we ever do get to interview one, that you'd love to kind of go, so what do you make of this? You know what I mean? Really put it on them. Yeah. You can see why.
Listen, but you just sticking to the process.
Yeah, but no, look at me, huh? Now flipping the other side. Now I know how hard it is on the media end of it. You're there like, now I see your frustration, lads.
A lot of these players, it's important, like we just said with Hollie and the referees, to get to know these people. Like, but if they're not putting themselves out there to show a bit of personality, where are they going to be in life after rugby? Like, honestly, you got to wonder, who are the personalities going forward out of the game? I would seriously wonder about picking up jobs, getting into media, doing punditry. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. It's a concern, and I just don't think. I think they're so shielded nowadays, shielded away from agents, shielded away from the press officers, and it's just doing themselves a disservice and doing the game a disservice.
Brilliant, well done. Off our soapbox now, well done. That was also nice and cranky.
Here, are you watching Adolescence? Tell me you've watched Adolescence.
Yeah, amazing. Jeez, it's
Have
amazing.
You watched every episode?
Yeah, I watched every episode. Oh my goodness.
I don't want.
Oh, go on. Where are you?
We don't want to spoil it, obviously, but that third episode,
why don't we want to spoil it? You know what I mean?
Well, for people who haven't seen it yet,
it's a tough luck. You shouldn't be tough luck. If you haven't watched it, we're going to spoil it.
Just fingers in the ears, la la la, for the next probably 10 minutes.
Let's keep general about it. But Tommy, I don't know about certain stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know about brilliant acting. But when it actually totally convinces you, like the young boy and the psychiatrist, that episode is incredible, isn't it? Like, just
isn't it? And it's all in one shot. Honestly, and this kid's, from what I gather, just turned up to a random audition. He hasn't done any real acting work before, I gather. Like, he doesn't have an IMDb or whatever. But like him and the psychiatrist, it was absolutely just captivating, and I loved it.
But
great television, great episode. Yeah.
I suppose the object of any actor is to stir emotion, isn't it? Like that's what, or to convey or to convince you. And the both of them, the psychiatrist and that, both of them, that young man. Oh my goodness, you know what I mean? It was like because you were gripped, man. You were absolutely gripped.
It was class, and I think what has been big about this show, obviously the fact that it was all shot in one go, but there's the greater picture of like boys particularly, I suppose, but kids in general on their computer. What are they seeing if they're up in the room on their laptop or on their computer or on their phone? What are they being put across in algorithms, in chat rooms? Who are they listening to? Who's influencing them? Like as a parent... Like my daughter is just turning 8. I have a son 5. They're still a few years away from getting a phone or whatever else. What age is your oldest?
Yeah, Sophie's 14. She has a phone, and Anna got a phone for Christmas. She's about to go in next year. She goes into secondary school. But yeah, there is kind of rules around it.
Can you police it? Like, is it difficult? Do you worry? Do you worry as a parent, or what's your take on it?
Sorry, I know this might sound a bit cocky, but I don't worry about them an awful lot because I'd like to think that they'd come talk to us if there was something going on. But their phones are very limited in what they can do. Like, of course, you want them to be social. Like, a great learning for me was in Worcester, Tommy, where I kind of gave out to the lads about putting the phones away. And what was happening was they were all on WhatsApp and the crack was on the WhatsApp group. So even sitting around, it's just how they probably communicate a little bit differently than we would have. You know what I mean? And it give me an appreciation for it. Our kids aren't allowed their phones upstairs. They know that. Like they nearly came up with that rule and just.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, and just never in your bedroom and never around. They don't even bring it into school and stuff like that. So it's
okay. So to be fair, you've got it well set up there. But like,
I don't know. I worry though. Like when you see stuff like this, you just don't know. You don't know, don't you? Like you wonder, have you opened? You know what I mean? Have you stirred the genie
friend
here?
Groups? Like you just don't know what sort of stuff that. And like, listen, Sophie, 14, God only knows what sort of stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, it frightens the life out of me. And I just think, having the conversation, I think, is probably good. I mean, you probably are one of the kids. They probably do feel that they can have conversations with you. Like, is Jenny good at kind of
Jenny's
talking
great with
to
it.
them?
Yeah, and I think it's with everything with parenting, isn't it, Tommy? You want them to realise, well, for us, the big thing is we're on your side. Like, you know what I mean? Talk to us, you know? Like, but, geez, it's everyone's worst nightmare, stuff like that, even the bullying that might go on and different things. Like I remember chatting to an old principal of mine, Dr. Jordan, and he was there like before school, if there was bullying in an environment, it went on during school hours, whereas now with social medias and different phone groups and different platforms, it can go on. It's relentless, you know. So it's good that this has actually pointed a torch on it and made us all chat a little bit more. And it's great to hear the English government are chatting about it, and the Irish government would be chatting about it if they could get themselves together and stop bickering and fighting and actually do some fucking work.
That's some mess, isn't it? What a mess that, honestly. Shame. I mean, I love, here, come here, Donncha, come here. Yeah. The Michael Lowry salute to come over and two-fingered salute. Anyway, to be fair, I'm sure I can understand how he felt. He wanted to give that to people, but geez, that's some mess. If you think of what, and we don't want to get too into this sort of stuff, but the things that need to be done in the country, and a lot of it's not because of that. I mean, it's absolutely scandalous. You must, with the kids, you must be and this goes through to another conversation, like you must be included in some amount of different WhatsApp groups.
I'm not. I'm on maybe 2 of them. I'm on a rugby kind of coaching one, but Jenny's phone doesn't stop with different activities. So our kids do athletics, they do hockey, they do GAA. So there's a lot of different groups, and I actually don't know how she keeps it all together with those kind of groups.
Are you not in any of them?
No, I'm not.
How did you get out of that?
I got out of it because I went into one very early on, and then I got about 3 different requests to kind of go to schools or to, you know what I mean? My aunt would love a video, and I was there, oh, geez, this is a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're in the kids' school WhatsApp and you're getting asked to do
Yeah, it wasn't the school one, but it was a different one, and I was there, oh, geez, no, Jen, I can't handle this, so get me out.
It's like this one, so in America, where obviously J.D. Vance and Michael Schwartz, the defense secretary, whatever, they added a journalist into the WhatsApp group. I actually couldn't believe he put his hand up to say, I want to get out of here. I was thinking, that's the sort of group, have you ever been added into a group and you think, I am really getting some great gossip here. This is amazing.
Sit in the shadows
keep the head down and sit in the shadows. Are you in any cool WhatsApp groups?
No, I'm not. They're all fairly.
No,
yeah, do you know what? We've an old one. Actually, we've one with Mairead that was busy last night from Ireland's Fittest Family. Yeah, and I do love the kind of. There's an old school Munster one where everyone kind of keeps in touch. It's always a bit of fun. Yeah, Jerry Flannery's been quite active at the moment over the Cork-on Young Munsters match. So yeah, he's stirring it a little bit. So yeah, it's always good fun. What about you? Are you on any ones, or have you ever been caught short?
Not really, no, I don't think so. I was thinking though, like phone security and all that sort of stuff. I was thinking actually a story about back in the day. Remember you used to have the Nokia 210, like Nokia 8210s, whatever it was. There was no passcode or anything back then. I remember at one stage, Trimby was out training and I was injured. So I thought, I'm going to sneak into the change room here. So I got his phone and opened it up as you could, but with your voicemail. So I changed, I think the voicemail he was with O2. Amazing. So I called the voicemail and changed his voicemail message. And I had on it, I said, hi, Andrew Trimble here. If it's important, leave it after the first message. If it's not important, leave it after the second beep. Sorry, first beep and second beep. Right. So Trimby then I just put it back in his pocket and left it. So Trimby, like a week later, was going, man, I'm getting some weird voicemail messages.
Brilliant.
Loads of people were ringing him and kind of thinking, oh, it's not that important. So the first beep would go, but it's recording and they're sitting there waiting for the second beep. And
so going to go guy.
They're sitting there waiting. I don't know, talking to the people. I don't know what. There doesn't seem to be a second beep here. But actually, Declan Kidney called him, right?
No way.
Decky was the head coach of the Irish team at the time, right? And Decky called him, left 2 blank voicemail messages, right? And then I had a missed call from Decky as well, and I had a voicemail that said, will you tell Andrew Trimble to pick up his phone, please? And then he got a third one, and it just said, after the first beep, it said, yes, Andrew, it is important. You're not coming down to camp this week.
Oh, whoa.
Second. So, yeah.
Waiting 10 seconds. Waiting 10 seconds for the second beep to drop him. Oh, jeez.
Brutal. So, there's the sort of phone security now.
I feel for Decky. I'd say he's quite glad that all that stuff has tidied itself up. Brian Carney used to torment him for a while. He would remember you could block your caller. You can still block your caller ID, but he would ring 2 phones, and those old school Nokias, if you flipped them around and put them on speaker, they would start chatting to each other. So like he'd ring 2 random people. So he might ring like Declan Kidney and just someone random, and like just put the phones on top of each other, and both would answer going, hello. Who's this? We're just going for ages, and all of us listening, just having the best time ever. Brian Carney, what a man. Honestly, some crack.
Didn't he used to like make calls on the front of the bus and he'd hold it up to loudspeaker?
Yeah, absolutely. He'd be ringing different agents trying to find out about negotiating deals of players that are actually on the bus. Yeah, oh jeez, honestly, he brought fun to a different level, genuinely. That the devilment and the chaos around him. What a guy. Yeah,
what a character. He's a man who should be picked for the Lions squad. The coach is going over there to keep morale up. Let's go on talk with that. Andy Farrell has named his coaching team: Simon Easterby, John Fogarty, Andrew Goodman, Richard Wigglesworth and John Dalziel, I think it is, from Scotland forwards coach. Paulie then is named as head coach then for the Irish team. They're going to be playing Georgia and Portugal in the summertime. What do you make of it? What do you think?
I think
happy.
I think he's true to him. I think they're very Andy Farrell-like coaches. I think he has maintained his standards of surrounding him with people not only that will challenge him, but will always have his back, and that won't just pick and stick in a certain area. These fellas will, you know what I mean? I'm just looking at the likes of Simon, you know what I mean? You could throw him into lineouts, you could throw him into defence, you could throw him into breakdown. It looks like a coaching group that could get very, very tight.
I'm going to be cranky here, right?
Go on, Victor Meldrew, come on, I can't wait to
Ireland's scrum was appalling in the Six Nations. There's no...
Appalling's harsh. Appalling's very harsh. It wasn't appalling.
Ireland had the worst scrum success of any team in the Six Nations. We saw what happened in that Welsh match. They were under huge pressure. I love John Foggs, great guy, great coach, no doubt about it. But if you're thinking you are picking the best players to go on this tour, John Fogarty could well be the best scrum coach out there. But when Ireland had such a bad Six Nations, particularly in the scrum, there has to be, surely people from other countries are questioning that. Yeah. And even then I kind of think of someone like that Welsh squad, Adam Jones, who's toured with the Lions. He's been there, done that, gets it. You know, would he not have been a better addition, and having a Welsh coach, because there's no Welsh coaches within the setup?
Yeah, well, honestly, that's exactly what happened on the Clive Woodward tour. You know what I mean? They got the best, man. They got the best defensive coaches from all around it. And did they get on as a group? I don't believe they did. You know what I mean? I never sensed that they were tight. And I think maybe I think Farrell, yet again, has been true to picking the best people. He is looking at the person first. So if I actually think there's going to be some amount of thought that goes into his playing squad. He is all about some of the parts. So maybe you're right. I think that's a bit harsh on the scrum. I think there was one day that didn't go well against Wales.
No, that's a Six Nations statistic.
I know, yeah, but you know that
you can't argue with that.
Yeah, but you can. If you've one blowout day, it totally ruins your stats. You know that.
Okay, I'll move on. Let's go more stats then, right?
Oh yeah. Who look at you turning into Carl Vorderman with stats. You want to be Victor Meldrew here and slag off the lads, and we've got a deadly coaching group, man. And
I know, but I just kind of for me it's listen. I think it's a bit Irish. I just think that the Lions should be a mix of all four.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would like to see an Irish coach, Irish head coach, English, Scottish, Welsh, divided equally.
But because
you've got Vinnie Hammond there as well, who's going to be going. You have Aled Walters, who are both from the Irish setup. You have David Nusafora is also going. You would imagine it's going to be an extremely well-populated Irish players now to keep that continuity going as well. If I was the other countries, I'd be a little bit frustrated, I think.
Yeah, I can understand it. But who do you think Gregor Townsend should be going then? Is it, or you know what I mean? I know
maybe
Wales.
Steve Tandy. Steve Tandy's the defence coach with Scotland. Seems to have done a pretty good job. You have obviously the whole Sean Edwards talk as well. Someone who I thought who might have been in for a shout is a guy Kevin Sinfield. I'm not too sure what his role exactly in the English setup is, but what an inspirational guy. He has done it all in rugby league, rugby union, and is raising so much money for his former teammate Rob Burrow. I just think that a guy in the team room for players to talk to, bounce off, and see the actual other side of professional sport. It's about giving, and that's what the Lions is all about too.
This is his coaching group, and I like it. Personally, I think he has gone for, like he always says, great people. You know what I mean? I only played against Richard Wigglesworth, man, but he was chopsy. He was in your face. He was annoying, man. He was the kind of guy you were always there. I'd love to I hated playing against him, but I'd love to have him in my back. And then, just because we know Simon as well, you know what I mean? You know what he brings in an environment. Foggs is one of the most underrated guys around.
No, I'm not trying to have a cut at them. No, I get that. Simon Easterby, Foggs, Richard, fantastic coaches, and probably are the best coaches or up there and the best people too. I just kind of think, like, whenever Gatlin picked his coaching team, it was very, very heavily Welsh. But I think they won the Six Nations Grand Slam that year. You know, the team would be going on a roll.
You're going back to it. The one loss to France, boy, and there you are still beating. Like, you know what I mean? Let it go, man. Let it go. It was one
I'm not
bad
into
match.
stats, but the stats
Of course
do
you
not
weren't
make
this morning.
pretty pictures. Well, listen, they do. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But you know what? Can I say? Look, I always think the coaching side of it is always a little bit underwhelming. The big decisions come from May the 8th. You know what I mean? And I think you're right. Yeah. Maybe the lack of a Welsh voice, but he has said that he would consider, you know what I mean, when he was asked, are you finished with your coaching selection, he was there, I'll see. And I think that kind of opens it up for maybe having different influences a little bit. You know, I'm just picking, Johnny Wilkinson works an awful lot with English lads on kicking. Is there an avenue at some point to bring someone like him in at a part of the tour? I'm just throwing it out there. You mentioned Kevin Sinfield.
Yeah, or Neil Jenkins or someone. But you've Aled Walters, who's obviously very Welsh upbringing. You have Simon Easterby, who's got, lives over in Wales. So there is that side.
Let's start it now. Well, Simon's going to be the Welsh coach, so now he's in situ to actually help him out. Do you know what? For me, I think the Welsh Union are missing a sleeping giant, man. Whatever about Simon, they should be chatting to Guy, man. Guy Easterby. If you're looking for somebody, exactly that director of rugby that knows Wales so well, that knows what good is, he's been in the Leinster environment and driven that bus for so long, I can't believe the lack of chat about swooping in and getting him. And then imagine his first appointment,
his brother.
I mean? There you go.
No, I think you're right, because I heard that there's talk of Scott Johnson and somebody else for it, but no, Guy's the man. But yeah, it'd be tough to move him away from Leinster. Like, Leinster are struggling to get rid of anybody at the minute. I see they've just signed RG Snyman.
Wow, incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible. Tell us what you really think.
I think it's a fucking joke shop. I really do. You know what I mean? And one, I think, was a joke that he actually went there. You know what I mean? Like, I no other business would you allow someone to kind of cross over like that. In industry, in good companies, you have non-competes. And there you go. But what frustrates me is, you know what I mean? There's double standards in the rules when it comes to signing people. My understanding was that was going to be a 1-year deal, so that he wanted to stay in Ireland and it would facilitate Leinster, but that's been thrown out the window. And no, you know what I mean?
This also begs the question with Slimani. Rav Slimani, I thought it was a blanket message to everybody, all the 4 provinces. There are no foreign props being allowed to bring in here, and Slimani comes in. Now, I know Leinster have, a raft of props there, but I'm just looking, like, against the Bulls, was that last week? You had to have Clarkson was on the bench, a man who needs game time, needs to get out there, get the minutes under his belt, but Slimani was starting at a tight head prop. Is that really where we wanting to go with? No, I don't know. Exactly as you said, there is definitely seems to be question marks over 2 different teams, and one set of rules for one and another rules for the other.
Well, that's the frustration. When Munster tried to sign Bueller, who was doing a great job for him, they weren't allowed to sign him. When Munster wanted to hold on to Snyman, they were told either hold on to John Klein or him. You know what I mean? So why don't we keep the standards? Like, Leinster, hold on to James Ryan, Joe McCarthy or RG Snyman, and let's see where we're at. I understand the Leinster supporters, and they're dead right. You might as well be so selfish. All you're looking at is with, you know what I mean, blue eyes, and you want success. And to be fair, they deserve it, like, in terms of how good they have been and stuff like that. But this, I think this goes to the bigger issue that is the main problem in Irish rugby at the moment, is the central contracts. And when Leinster have that economical advantage anyway, you know what I mean, and then the RFU is picking up 12 of the salaries, it's pushing away, and I think it's going to be really, really damaging. And like Leinster can keep going to the market now, because they've they've so much coin, and look, it's
so
brilliant.
much money.
I don't fault them the ones they earn. You know what I mean? Filling out Croke Park, good on you. Keep going. You're setting the standards there. But this IRFU money just being pushed in different directions to sign fellas that are, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I see Sam Prendergast has signed. I presume he's in a national contract. I don't know. I didn't see that exactly. I see there's talk of Crowley is going to take the contract in Munster, which would mean, I wonder, is he going to get a national contract? I don't see why, if they need to keep him, why they might not. So I don't know what the situation. We'll find out more as that goes on. But you're talking about bringing in the money. What about, let's talk about the other game this weekend, Connacht against Munster up in MacHale Park. You're going up to it as well, are you?
We are going up, yes. The Corkon under 10s are leaving at 6 in the morning. We're heading up there.
Right.
So 6 in the morning, bus leaves Corkon. We are playing Westport that morning. The under 10s take on Westport, and then we're heading over to MacHale Park for the match. So can't wait for it. I think it's going to be a giddy bus. You need a few parents and a few coaches to kind of police it, and we're trying to get this kind of, maybe 6 to 8 should be quiet time. You put a load of kids on the bus. Quiet time's out the window. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be serious.
Give them their phones. They'll be grand.
I'm honestly going to roll in with a load of Skittles and a few cans of Coke.
So are you
and just
front of the bus? Are you in charge?
Geez. No, I won't be in charge. I sit in nicely behind the kind of rest of the ones. But you might need a few enforcers, and I'm quite happy to kind of give the... I had an embarrassing one with Jake, though. I was there. I'm looking forward now to travelling up with you. We'd sit together on the bus, and I could see his face. It was like, oh jeez, no man. I was, I'm only pulling your chain.
It's going to be class, though. I actually am delighted for Connacht to be able to do this and have the game in MacHale Park, open it up to a new audience as well, big GA audience up there, and it's just going to be class. It's going to, like, is it a much further trip for the Munster supporters? It probably is a right bit different.
100% it. But this is always my concern. Honestly, it always drove me nuts that we played Connacht in Thomond Park. I love Thomond Park. It's our home. Munster should play there as much as we possibly can. But when there's an advantage to the opposition in the fact that they can get home quicker than us, then I have a problem with it. I honestly think we should play Connacht in Baltimore or in Skibbereen or in somewhere in Kerry and drag them all the way down as well. You know what I mean? So to make sure that you take the advantage. But honestly, I think we need more of this. And to be fair to Leinster, they set the tone with the likes of Croke Park, but I wish we were thinking more like this. For kind of whatever about making money, which hopefully it does for the Connacht branch or union team, or whatever it's called, team, but for just growing the game, you know what I mean? If you're in Mayo there or you're in Donegal, that is so much more accessible, isn't it?
It's going to be class. It's 25,000 seater stadium as well. It's going to be a great atmosphere there too. And I just, exactly. The stadiums are there. Why not bloody use them? And if Connacht make a bit of money out of it and the GAA make a bit of money out of it, Mayo need it too as much as anybody else. So good on them. So no, it's going to be a great weekend. Looking forward to that. But I think it's time to get our guest on now. Hollie Davidson, the incredible Scottish women's referee, men's referee, was referee and assistant referee in the Six Nations there, was in charge of Ireland in the autumn as well. She's just a top class talent. I'm sorry you've had to put up with him. Yes, I am late again. And apologies for the dodgy Wi-Fi, but he's been in good form, is he?
Yeah, 15 minutes of keeping me in good company.
Yeah.
Mainly getting stuck in tube.
I'm so sorry.
It happens.
Donncha,
He's a big night tonight,
like
Hollie, but you're no better person to tell about handling pressure. How are you keeping? I know you're moving between competitions. You were in Belfast last weekend for the Ireland-France game. Quick question, did you get to see Lyra at half-time?
No, I didn't, actually. I actually didn't even know that she was on until afterwards, when people said that she was fantastic, but I missed her.
Brilliant.
She put on a hell of a show, to be fair. Now, Lyra's probably not going to thank me for this, but she's performing at the event I'm at here at the moment, or tonight, and she's got a really bad eye infection. So, I don't know, maybe it's the dodgy grass or whatever it was up in Belfast, but she's really struggling.
No way.
So, but she's a trooper, Lyra. She'll perform and put on a show for us tonight, as she did last weekend.
I love that, going through the injuries of the week. Okay, France are okay, Ireland okay, but Lyra's gone down, lads.
The halftime performance. How did you enjoy it last weekend? Obviously, the open of the Women's Six Nations, Ireland against France. Like, it was a hell of a game. Second half, it was really close. France obviously edged it at the end, or I suppose pulled away in the end. But good atmosphere. I mean, you must love being a part of this competition, and it seems just to be growing more and more.
Totally. Like the opening game, you always kind of want it from like a ref perspective to go smoothly without any kind of controversial decisions. And you're right, like the crowds for the women's games are just growing and growing. And yeah, the atmosphere at Kingspan was amazing, class to be a part of. And yeah, like to be honest, like I thought Ireland were going to come back in the second half and take it away from France. Like they've obviously been on such a journey over the last 2 years, so it's class to see them back kind of at the top tables of the women's game and pushing to be in the 1-2 position of the Women's Six Nations.
Because
they had well, you helped them as well because we got a red card, so well done, Hollie. You've done like, listen, we all know about hometown referees and you did the job you tried your best.
I actually didn't realise as well, it was Gabby Vernier, the girl that got red carded. It was her 50th cap, which I didn't realise until the post-match function. So I kind of went up to her and I was like, it's probably a 50th that you're remembering for all the wrong reasons. And she was like, oh, it's fine, don't worry. And I was like,
are you serious? Oh, well, listen, that's not your fault. And you did, you used a bunker review and they gave the red. So they had
Hollie, it's red all day though, isn't it? You know what I mean? But it's lovely that you can have that relationship with her afterwards, that you can go up and, you know what I mean, just have the chat and the crack and, you know what I mean, actually say congratulations.
Yeah, like she's an unbelievable player, and she's always known she's not the biggest of players. Like she's like quite petite, but she is like a dog. She's got that fire in her belly. But as soon as she flew out and I saw her crack heads with Eve Higgins, I was like, oh Christ, this doesn't look good. But yeah, like I suppose within the women's space, you try and build that rapport with players. And when it is kind of so stonewall as it was, the card, it probably makes that conversation a little bit easier. It maybe would have been trickier if it was maybe like a orange card, but yeah, because it was red, it was okay.
Do you find
Talk to us about this orange card.
Well, you guys know, like there'll be some decisions that are nailed on, and then there'll be other ones which will split a room. And that's where you kind of have to decide: do I want to go yellow or red? Which way do I try and sell the decision? And they're always the hardest ones because they will split a room. So that's what we would always call as an orange one.
Is it hard to give a red, or is it easier to kind of because most decisions nowadays are flipping hard to call, you know what I mean? And you have enough things to be worried about on the pitch. You've so much. I mean, it's actually too much nowadays, but it nearly takes the pressure off the referees in a little bit to let them concentrate on the job at hand and let the bunker review. I actually think it's a good idea personally. Do you enjoy it? Do you think it's a bit more helpful, takes a bit of pressure off?
Yeah, I think that to be honest, like the card on Saturday, I probably would have been really comfy giving a 20-minute red card straight there on the spot. But I suppose in like big games, it means that if we're not getting angles or it is within that caliber of maybe yellow to red, then it allows someone that's completely detached from that environment to give a really like solid view on the decision. It's just then, like Donna said at the start, when you're then switching between competitions, I obviously now go into URC where we don't have the bunker. And it's just trying to like take the rugby audience with us when we're using one system in one competition and then we move into the others, and it's a slightly different process that we're using when it comes to foul play.
Yeah. For God's sake, isn't that so annoying? I mean, honestly, this is working. What are you doing, URC?
But genuinely, we had this conversation with Nigel Owens, and whatever about changing the laws within at the end of the year, changing them in season for you, like it must be so difficult. Just like you don't want your viewing it, but just we feel for you there, because you're implementing what we're all asking for, but then 2 weeks later you're being asked to referee it differently. I think we said it earlier on that we need more support for the refs in terms of not keeping it so grey. Just make definite rules that are better, and make them earlier and support you better.
Yeah, it's more like as players, you guys have been trained to do something for years and years, season after season, and then for that to kind of change mid-season is probably trickier for you guys. For us, it's like we get told, okay, this is now what's going to happen, and we just have to implement it. But to change a whole technique or something big within the game is probably a little bit trickier for coaches and players to adapt to.
Can I ask you a quick one? Because some of them are good. Tommy's a fan of the orange card, stuff like this. The one that I think I'd struggle with is chatting to the whole crowd. You know, when your mic goes like the NFL. Like, I can't, Hollie, I can't even listen to my own voice notes. And there you are in front of 40,000. You know what I mean? How do you find that?
Trying to explain what a ruck is.
Oh my gosh. It's daunting. So the first time it actually happened to me it was probably 2019. They were trialling it when I was down in Australia. I did Australia and New Zealand women in Perth. And there's obviously a delay between when I speak to it going around the stadium. And I got so taken aback. I was like, oh my God, that's my voice, like surrounding, like around me. And as a referee, you kind of just want to go out and do your job, but there's probably more elements to our role now. You're very much almost like a conductor of the spectacle, so that everyone within the stadium is following what you're saying, which, like, as someone that likes to just chat, like, I'm not very good at the whole corporate thing, so I want to be able to just chat as though I'm having a conversation. And sometimes when you hear that around the stadium, it's pretty daunting. But I think it actually makes it better for the fan in the stand, because they then know what's going on.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, it does. It definitely clarifies it as well. Whenever you said you gave the red card to Bernie and you saw her in the aftermatch function, is it like, do you enjoy the aftermatch functions a little bit more at the women's ones, or what was it like? Because you were assistant ref at the fellas as well, Ireland against England as well. Do you have a brilliant relationship with all the guys as well? Are you able to go up to the fellas and kind of say, listen, got that right or got that wrong? How is it now? Because it's something we question, that is there still the same bond that we would have had with referees back when we were playing?
I think that you try to, and it's picking your moments, I suppose. Like
picking who you talk to as well.
Exactly. And I think it's when you come off the pitch, you will know if you've had a good game or you've had a bad game, and there's going to be decisions that you feel unhappy with or that you didn't execute well. So it's judging how the players are going to engage with you. And obviously in, the Ireland-England game, I'll see far more of the Irish players through URC than I would the English players. So you can have chats with them. Like I saw Bundyaki after the game, he came up and, he was saying congratulations for me getting my cap the week before, which was a really nice touch. So the more I see them through URC and EPCR, it then means that you can have that relationship in the post-match. But you always know that tensions and emotions are going to be high after a game. So it's picking the moments, and it's probably picking the players as to who you can go and chat to.
Just on that, Hollie, we'd always have refs in for training, and I remember with Munster, Johnny Lacey would fall in an awful lot just purely for even conditioning drills and different things. And then if we were going scrummaging, he'd help us out with even just the timing and different things like that. Do you get much access like that? Do you get into camps? Do you find that helpful, not only for like your own coaching, but building those relationships?
Massively. So we go in with Scotland men pretty much throughout their whole campaign, and it's good for them to have someone that's in the World Rugby Six Nations room to know what the talking points are or the key moments from the games, and like how we can assist them if they've been getting penalised a lot, what the referees are seeing with their pictures. And vice versa. Like I very much see it as like a learning environment for me. Like I want to understand what teams are trying to achieve, and like especially when it comes to like scrummaging. So I was in with Scotland, maybe it was just after Christmas, where I'd done the derby game between Edinburgh and Glasgow. obviously where Xander Fagerson and Pierre Schumann were. And so I had like good conversations with them around some of the decisions that I'd given, and maybe I'd been maybe I hadn't been the most accurate, but that's where you can build those relationships, and you can ask questions to them and vice versa around what referees are seeing and triggers to assist them in and performing the best that they can. So I love going in. I think it's a great environment. They are so welcoming to me when I come in, and they include me in any of those conversations. So yeah, it's I think it's fantastic, and it's how we keep our sport like as kind of special as it is. It's not any sort of like segregation.
No, you're just right. What position were you when you played?
I played 9 and 10.
9 and 10. What clue do you have about the front row? I mean, what chance do we have? Honestly, trying to talk to Pierre and Xander, I mean, you have no chance.
It's the dark arts as well, like the absolute dark arts. It's impossible. So you have to tap into all of this like knowledge and expertise. Now, whether they're telling me the truth and they're just absolute like pulling the wool over my eyes to get a penalty, I'm not sure.
I was definitely straight there.
Exactly.
Boring in. That's all I know from front rows. They all say that, don't they?
Yeah.
Hollie, you mentioned your playing career. You might just tell us about, you picked up an acid injury, your shoulder, was it a week before your first cap for Scotland?
Yeah, I'd had issues like, I was never the biggest player, and playing 9 and 10, especially at 10, like people probably targeted me, and the shoulder just it eventually got to like the end of its tether. We had a Scotland training game on the Friday evening, and I'd been named to play against the Netherlands. I was supposed to get my first cap. And yeah, the Friday evening, played the game, and my shoulder just went. And it was so disappointing. Like, at that age, I was 19. I thought that was my entire sort of like rugby journey, rugby career over. And I tried to make it back. I had surgery on it like a couple of times, and it was just never the same. And did I feel that I fulfilled my potential in playing? Absolutely not. Like, I felt like I had so much more to give. So that's probably when I went into refereeing. I didn't want to have that same feeling of, oh, I could have, I should have. I was like, no, I will and I can, you know.
Brilliant.
Well, and congratulations. I know you did get your cap from Scotland Rugby as well for being the first professional Scottish referee as well to be involved in Six Nations. Like, what you've done has been absolutely amazing. I'd say you've taken the motivation of missing out on getting that first cap, actually playing, to really take yourself to new heights in the refereeing world, which is it's so inspiring. So good on you. Can I ask you though, what did you ever think you'd be a ref? Like, why did you get into refereeing?
Brilliant, I love this. Who wants to ref?
Literally, like, and I think even now, if you asked youngsters, do you want to, like, what do you want to do if you stop playing? How many of them would say reffing? Like, so few. And to be honest,
lots more after seeing you, by the way.
That is true. That is so true.
No, like I never wanted to referee, and I never thought that would be, you know, the path that I took. But when I knew that door was closing, playing, I wasn't ready to kind of like step away and become maybe like a coach, and I wasn't fulfilled just playing domestic Scottish rugby. Like, I wanted to do more. And so people always, you know what it's like when there's sort of like older referees are kicking around and people are like, oh, there's so-and-so. And I've got zero clue who like older referees are. And I've really had to do my homework and like getting up to speed on who the old sort of guard were, if you like.
Getting Tony Spreadbury to hold your glass. Hold that there, fella.
Tony who? Yeah, I hear you. But was it one of them? Did you get talking to, was it somebody in the Scottish Union that kind of tapped your shoulder and said, listen, we think this is a potential career path for you? Or like, because I mean, I think, did you only get involved in refereeing first time like 10 years ago? Like, you've had a hell of a journey in those 10 years. Yeah,
so I actually worked with Mike Adamson's brother at Edinburgh Uni, and Dave, who's the brother, he coached me when I was at uni, and we were chatting, and he used to talk about Mikey going away all the time and traveling and going to the Olympics. And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. And then, so I was kind of like, sure, like, we all think that we can referee. Like we
Yeah.
all think
Yeah.
that
Of
refereeing
course,
is
it's
the
easy.
easiest job.
I
Exactly.
did. I
Yeah.
did for my last 3 years.
Did you? Oh yeah, of
Well,
course.
Yeah, he
Of
felt he
course.
thought he did.
Yeah. And so from there, I was kind of like, I got in contact with Scottish Rugby and asked like when the next kind of course was, and through there, the chap that took it was a guy called Bob Easton, who had like a reputation of like scouting young, successful referees, and he's still my mentor now, and took me on my journey to help me get the games that I needed and put me in front of the right people at the right time. So yeah, it's a crazy journey, but one that's honestly like totally changed my life.
But
Wow,
Holly,
class.
good on you there. You like, because we're all expecting the story of a mentor throwing the hand around you and saying you're going to be. You went and made it happen. You know what I mean? You got on to them. I think it's just a great lesson for anyone listening, boys or girls, that like you have to grab it, don't you? You have to make it go your way.
Totally. And I think when you're playing, like playing is probably you get so much joy from it, but a lot of it is set up for you. If you want to achieve, you can. Do you know, there's the process, there's the academies in place and there's the pathways, but as soon as that door shuts, like everything else is a little bit more of an effort. And if you want to make something of it, you have to go out and search for yourself and take those steps, and it's daunting, and it's intimidating at points, but the benefit that you get out the backside of it is second to none.
Yeah. Oh, well done. I mean, and some of the boxes that you've ticked along the way is just amazing. I do have to ask you though, the Women's World Cup is coming up very shortly.
Yeah.
That's going to be an amazing, particularly the fact that it's in England. I think there's just going to be massive support right behind it. The fact that England are going so well, the home nations are really improving. It's going to be a great spectacle. And do you know if you're involved in that yet, or do you have to? No, okay, you
No,
don't know.
not yet. We
Don't
find
know.
out. We'll find out the second week of May. So
Okay.
fingers crossed. But I totally agree. Like rugby up here has been growing so much over the past sort of like 3, 4, 5 years, and you can see ticket sales already for it is amazing. The fact that they're spreading it around the country, class. And the product that's actually put out on the field as well is unbelievable. Like the
Yeah.
girls are absolute athletes, and like the way that they engage with their fan base as well is amazing. So fingers crossed that
Unbelievable.
it's an absolute like spectacle of a tournament, class games, class atmospheres, and just puts our sport into a different sphere.
I
You
noticed you said athletes there, and you looked at Donncha. Certainly not an athlete.
get out of it,
The
Tommy.
game has come on a long way, Donner, since then.
Holly, you can't say it, but is the goal ref in World Cup finals, both the women's and the men's?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think again there is so much experience in like both spaces. I think that for me to just be involved in the men's space is like brilliant. I've got so much still to learn there. Dealing with the pressure in the men's environment is totally different. And with that, you just need sort of like that time. You need time to
Yeah.
be in those spaces, feeling the crowds, the coaches, the players. Physically, it's very demanding as well. So I just need to keep the body and mind moving in the right space, and hopefully, I put myself in positions for selection in those games.
We won't keep you much longer because I do realise that I've kept you waiting here. I do have to ask
Yeah,
you,
well,
we talk about the step up between URC and Europe and then Six Nations stuff. Do you notice that? Do you notice that you have to be that little bit sharper, that the game is that little bit faster, particularly as a referee?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
I think the URC is a brilliant competition, and with the South African teams, it adds a different element into the tournament, which I think is great. I just did my first Champions Cup game before Christmas, Stade Francais versus Saracens, and I'd obviously in November done Ireland Fiji, so I was like, all right, okay, like I feel in like a good space, and we now refer to it as the Battle of Paris. It was one of the hardest games I've ever done. English versus French side, physical, fast, a lot of foul play, like hostile.
Right.
Oh, it's massive, and everyone knows the Champions Cup. Everyone wants to be a part of it. Everyone's proud to play in it. So as a ref, you can definitely feel the step up.
Hey, Holly, what happens to you in those moments? Do you feel yourself growing there, or do you shrink a little bit and kind of go, oh, you know what I mean? Just like, because I'd hate to be in the middle on that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to go out and put it all out there as a player, but to control it.
Oh my God, I think internally you're like, oh, like, here we go. But similar to what I said, you kind of have to, like, people are looking at you for clarity and authority. So you almost have to put on, like, your poker face, your game face to say, I've got to stand up to these points. And internally you might be absolutely screaming, but the voice has to stay as calm and collected as possible.
Amazing. Hell of a job you're doing. Yeah. I looked at something. I have to ask you, this is a random one. You did a video there recently. Are referees not allowed to have long sleeves, even if it's freezing?
I know exactly the video that you're referring to.
Yeah.
There's certain people, you are, but like there's certain weird things that refs get judged for. So it's like long sleeves, like long under sleeves, or like if we don't wear black boots. Some people don't like that. Like all of
no way, really?
You're right, Holly. Because I remember we once had a ref in a pair of trail shoes, and like honestly, he came in to do the toss before the match, and it was over. I was there. I'm not taking anything off this fella today.
Exactly.
Oh wow! I didn't even think of it.
Like even I remember when the boys started reffing and Barnsley had like kept some of his stubble for one of his first games a few years ago, and certain people had like stuff to say about that, whereas now obviously like the designer stubble is in, so it's fine. But it's the strangest little things that refs get pulled up for, like the trail shoes, the sleeves, all of these things.
Nigel Owens in his white boots, bright whiter than any other player on the pitch. Loved it. Okay, so you can wear long sleeves, but it's a case of just watching out for people giving you a hard time over it. Okay, do you have a favourite stadium?
I probably have very fond memories actually of Kingspan. The 2017 Women's World Cup final was there, where I ran touch, and that was kind of my first involvement in World Rugby and the women's stuff. And then it's actually also where I first ran touch in what was Pro 14 at the time. And whenever you go there, if it's a Friday night, it is always an insane atmosphere. Like it's class. It feels still very much kind of like a rugby stadium, which is nice.
Not like Thomond.
You're the first person ever outside of Ulster to like the Kingspan. All the rest of us are bricking it going there every time.
Listen, I think the current Ulster team are bricking it going there at the minute as well. It doesn't seem to be going too well for them.
Holly, the very best of luck this weekend. Benetton versus Cardiff. You're looking after that. I always notice though, Benetton away is a treat, isn't it? You highlight that one in the post-match food. Have you ever eaten anything like it?
It's the flies on the pitch. They go down your throat when you're running.
Don't worry about that. It's all worth it for the post-match food.
Anywhere in Italy, the post-match is always fantastic. The food, the cheese, the meat, everything. Delicious.
Absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Perks of the job, Holly. Perks of the job. Listen, thank you so much. Congratulations on getting your first Scottish referee's cap just at the start of the Six Nations there, the Women's Six Nations. You're doing amazing things. Honestly, we love talking to you, and it's really interesting just to get a bit of an insight as well. And best of luck. Fingers crossed you're going to be involved in the Women's World Cup and maybe even, I think definitely the final. Has to be the way forward.
Yeah,
because Scotland won't be there.
Oh, jeez, Tommy!
Only joking, of course they will. Got a great opportunity. That's genuinely from Scotland.
Genuinely, Holly, thank you so much for everything you're doing. Honestly, just as dads as well here, for us to sit down with our girls and see you out there bossing it every time. We're so proud of you. Keep it going.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it, guys.
There we have it. Fair play. Holly's sound, isn't she?
She's bang on. Good on her. Jeez, you love to hear the kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You're there like, wow.
I was mad with the sleeves. I was listening to that in an interview she did before, and I was thinking, why? Is that something referees can't have sleeves? And then with the white boots and all, it's just like trying to divert attention to us.
But you've come from the ultimate, like that Scarlets team were the Ospreys team. Yeah.
The Galacticos.
But you were the look good, play good, wasn't it? Remember Henson's silver hair and stuff? Like, to be fair, you like... And
we'll get into this another day. I need to tell you about the ban, the tan. That
ban
you
the tan?
you couldn't have fake tan unless you had over 100 caps.
No way. Whoa.
Couldn't have white boots unless you had over 50 caps for the Ospreys.
No, you're putting a limit on it. Whoa.
I swear that's where it was. But yeah, no, we didn't have to go into that. I'll tell you some of those stories another day. Great crack. But no, fair play. It's going to be a great one this weekend as well. Enjoy MacHale Park.
Come on, Mayo.
Come up the Mayo boy. Mayo for Sam.
Hey, the green and red Mayo.
We'll catch you next week, mate.
Slow on, Tommy.